All right, the Stacking Points is back, and I am happy to bring you guys a history of American coinage, part 2. It's going to be the seated Liberty design. All right, the design of the seated Liberty was a very popular design. It ran from 1836 to 1891, an impressive 55 years. Appearing first on the famous Go-Breck dollars in 1836, followed by the dime and half dime in 1837. They set the standard for 90% silver and 10% copper, which was the case from 1837 to 1964. Before that, coins were struck in 89.2% silver, 10.8% copper. This design was effectively created by William Niez, although it was taken across the finish line by Christian Go-Breck. Chief engraver William Niez suffered a stroke before he could finalize the design for the seated Liberty motif, and the responsibility fell to his second engraver, Christian Go-Breck, who took over the project and completed the design based on earlier contributions from Niez, Sully, and Peel. This design features the goddess of liberty clad in a flowing dress, seated upon a rock. In her left hand, she holds a liberty staff with a liberty cap atop it, a classic symbol of freedom, with its roots in ancient Greece and Rome, where they were worn by emancipated slaves. Her right hand is resting on the top corner of a Union shield, the shield bearing a scroll with her name on it. The shield was meant to represent America being prepared to defend freedom. Drapery was added in 1839 by Robert Ball Hughes. This design appeared on 6 different denominations, which is quite impressive. All right. The next coin we're going to be looking at is the 20-cent piece. This coin was struck from 1875 to 1878. It was proposed by Senator John P. Jones to help alleviate the small change crisis on the West Coast at the time. It didn't circulate very well, though. It proved to be a failure, in part due to the public confusing it with the quarter, to which it was close in size and value. This coin was struck with a smooth edge, weighed 5 grams, and was 90% silver and 10% copper. This one's a 1875S, which is the most common of them, and there were over 1 million of these made. It's a beautiful coin, though. The obverse, I think, looks a little bit different than the other seated liberties. So I'm going to go ahead and show it. The design's almost exactly the same, it's just a little bit off. Alright, here is the seated Liberty $50, produced in the New Orleans Mint. They'd only been around for like 14 years at this point or something. The New Orleans Mint was established, so they started making coins in 1838. This is 1854, so it's like 16 years there. Beautiful piece. The obverse is identical to that of the quarter, so we're going to go ahead and skip that. Alright, on to the next one. And here we have the reverse of the 1854 seated Liberty dime. This is what they call type 1. And I have second type here. These are laurel leaves and oak leaves. And type 2 has corn, wheat, and other American agriculture on the reverse. And that's type 2. Type 1. Type 2. All right. Here is the 1854 half dime, obverse and reverse of type 1. And here is the reverse of type 2. Alright guys, got one last thing I want to show you. It's my 1854 silver 1 ounce round. I got this for the dollar in my collection because I'm very OCD, and the 1854 dollar that the United States government made didn't have the arrows by the date like the rest of the coins in the collection, the half dollar, quarter, dime, half dime. They all have the arrows by the date, signifying the change in weight from before 1853. And this one does. So instead of buying the dollar, I went and I bought this. I'll go ahead and show you the reverse here. Where ordinarily it would say $1, it says 1 troy ounce of fine silver, which in my opinion is about the same thing anyway. So alright guys, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed the History of American Coinage Part 2, the Sea of Liberty. Thank you.